I think the main thing was being open to challenges. So I noticed like stepping out of your comfort zone. That's what helped me. Like I took on the challenge like when my boss wanted like someone to work like more on the AWS stuff. Even though I had no idea, I was like, okay, let me try it. So like doing challenging stuff helped like me. Like I'm still learning like new stuff, but now when I like there's this new service I want to try, I'm not that scared because I know there's documentation. Like you'll be able to figure out there are communities around and like a lot of resources online. So that would help. Like you shouldn't be afraid to like try new things. Yeah, that's one. And staying curious about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. สวัสดีค่ะขอต้อนรับเข้าสู่ It's All About Serverless Podcast. Welcome to It's All About Serverless Podcast, the podcast where we explore stories and insight from people driving innovation in tech, from cloud computing to career transition and the world of serverless. We are here to inspire you your next step in tech. I'm your host, Natikan Fulton, and today I'm excited to welcome Gifty Mate Kole, a senior software engineer at Synclight IT. With deep expertise in cloud computing and serverless technology, she's been designing and building scalable solutions on AWS, leveraging serverless to create smarter and efficient systems. I'm thrilled to dive into her journey in cloud space and hear about her insight what takes her to build and scale in serverless world. Hi, Kipti.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good, good. So, yeah, I like to start with the first question. How did you first get into your tech and eventually find the way into cloud computing?
Okay. So it started when I was younger. So I used to play these online games. I don't know if you remember, there are these dress up games that were online and like there was this typing, there's this like typing game Mavis Beacon, like to help you like teach typing. And I always used to wonder what's like how they built it. Like I was always curious how these programs were made. Like that interest, like stayed with me. Then later on in the university, I decided to study management information systems. So with that, it's a combination of business administration and computer science. And also from there, after school, I did an internship at a software development company. So that's where I used to work. I was doing both front end and back end there. And yeah, and I moved to where I'm currently working, and I've been there for about 5 years. Yeah, now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there I was also doing front end, back end, and but then I moved. I'm mostly now concentrating on the back end, like doing back end stuff. I like working with data, like manipulating data and all. And with the cloud, how I got into cloud.
Mm-hmm.
With that, it was through my boss, my current boss, where I work. So we wanted to start using like a lot of AWS services in like the apps that we built. Like he wanted to like decouple like some of the services like didn't so example the notification systems, right? So we wanted to use AWS for that, like whenever we need to notify our customers or like the users of the app, you know. So he wanted someone to be in charge of that, like doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took up the challenge and started. And now in our company, I think all the projects that we start with, like we are using like serverless, like AWS, like serverless, strictly serverless. We use AWS CDK, like to deploy it. I keep track of our infrastructure and all. Yeah. So that's how I got in.
Well, so can you talk a little bit more about how do you view the challenge of decouple the system? Like, how do you approach that?
Approaching that. So
Yeah.
first, we with that it wasn't immediate. We started with like little services, like as I mentioned, the notification system, right? With that,
Mm-hmm.
I know we can like move it out. It doesn't have to depend. Well, one main reason for that was when there are any like failures, it doesn't break everything down at once. Like it's like one part not working, so we'll be
Mm.
able to like fix that easily, you know. So with that, it was, I think we started slowly, so it wasn't that like challenging and immediate, like little parts
Mm-hmm.
first. So yeah, the notification system moved it using SES, you know. So with that, the interesting thing how it started for we were working on this app. It's a long care subscription app, and we assign long care companies to customers. So and we manage the appointments there. So the customers sign up, create their appointment. So when there are any changes in the appointments, we have to notify the customers and the vendors, like if there are changes. So we're using MongoDB for that. And so with the change, like when we're introducing the AWS services, we use the MongoDB triggers. So when there are any changes in the appointments, we were sending an event to Event Bridge. Then from there, there
Mm.
was a Lambda function. Yeah, there was a Lambda function that sends out like the emails and lets the customers and vendors know what happened on their appointments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how long did it take you from starting until maybe go live? Yeah.
How long like it takes
Yeah, how long did
starting?
it take? Yeah, since you get the opportunity to decouple the system, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of break it down and you kind just kind of do it piece by piece,
I
right?
see.
So I'm curious about how long would it take you like from the beginning until you finally
Finally did.
complete the yeah.
I think was it about? It was quite. It wasn't that long. But will I remember? I'm sure it took about. It wasn't more than a year. And
Mhm.
yeah, we move quite fast where I work, like when we are working on stuff. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
wasn't, I don't think it was some months, a few months, yeah, to get all that working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one thing that I know about serverless is that it take its time to market. It's very
Yes.
like
Very
fast.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it is the first project that you have
Yeah.
like you
That
go.
was yeah.
Oh,
That was
okay.
the first project, yeah.
How do you feel like after you complete the project? Does that feel like is it hard? Is it like pretty easy? And have you run into any like if something that's completely new, like a new service that you
Yeah.
have never tr- done it before? Have you
Well,
run into that issue?
issue. Well, I like learning new things, so it was kind of fun for me. Like it was challenging in the beginning, like trying to
Mm-hmm.
understand everything, how they work, especially when I was getting errors with like permissions. Like I know
Yeah.
this is supposed to work, but I'm getting permission errors and all. But now I have the hang of it. When I see the permission errors, I know what's wrong.
Yeah,
and
so one thing about
so,
when you work with the decouple system
yeah,
and they communicate to each other is
yes,
with the event driven architecture, and you
architecture,
you run into that a lot where
yeah.
you send the event from one service to the other service, and
And
then it's
then
like,
edge.
well, you don't have the
Yes,
permission actually to
to do that.
to allow to
Mm-hmm.
let's say like put or get the message from SQS.
From there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, and I think one challenge I also had. So before, when we started, we were using serverless application model. So we had a YAML file where all the infrastructure was being created, and it got quite long, and it was confusing when you're updating like a resource.
Yeah.
So when we moved to use AWS CDK with TypeScript, like it's made it so easy. Like it's much easier organizing our code and all. And when we want to deploy to different environments, like it's just simpler. And even
Mhm.
when we are starting a new project, like we already have some constructs there already. So it's easy to like just pick them and create them in another project. So yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I have never tried CDK, but
Okay.
I'm a YAML person. So I've
Yeah,
been,
I'm okay.
yeah, yeah. So I've used serverless framework and then SAM template. So it's
So
all, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So were you using what tool that you use for the YAML file?
It was some. So we're using the some templates and we had this YAML file. That wasn't very nice. I think we just started that for, we just did that for a short time and moved to CDK. Yeah, I'm sure it
Mm-hmm.
was how we were organizing it, but it wasn't that simple. Like
Yeah.
updating stuff, yeah, in there. But with the CDK, like with TypeScript, like it catches TypeScript, like type errors and all, and
Mm-hmm.
like everything is much more organized when we have, like, we can, we have our Lambda functions in one place if there are events here, or DynamoDB, like when we are creating the tables and all, like we structured all that there. So it's easy to find like our way around and catch like any errors before like we deploy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how do you so are you so you migrate from using YAML file to use CDK?
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes, yes.
how did you what was the process there? Like, did you use any tool or you just kind of,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, it was manual. It wasn't any tool here. That it was manual. Just looking at
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
So how long
manual.
did it take?
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't, no, with that one, with that project that we're using, the, it was just one project that we used the YAML for. But we were, so that is still in like the YAML format, using the YAML file. But we're about to start a project. We started with that, but we decided to go with the AWS CDK. So it wasn't, we didn't get far,
Oh,
that far with it. Yeah.
oh,
So
okay. How do
like
you,
the switch was simple. Yeah.
yeah. So how, okay, CDK from YAML. Okay. Yeah. YAML for CDK. Okay. Let's a little bit, let's move to the next question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that the complexity of the decouple system, and that's the one thing that is really fascinating because
Mm-hmm.
when it's come to troubleshooting and when you see like error that happen
Yeah.
because the events flow from, let's say that you have the event bus, right, and then the
Mm-hmm.
destination could be several services, and how do you approach those kind of thing when, let's say, like in terms of troubleshooting?
Troubleshooting. So the CloudWatch logs help a lot
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since like if let's say, let me use an example. Let's say we have this, we are processing files. We are working on something and we are processing files. So once the file, like there's an endpoint using API gateway and a Lambda function, like API gateway, then Lambda function. Then from the Lambda function, it triggers, no, from a Lambda function, it adds the file to an S3 bucket. When
Hmm.
that is added, it triggers an S3 event, which
Yeah.
starts a step function that
Uh-huh.
processes the files. Like we try and get information from the file. So with something like that, so it's the CloudWatch logs that helps a lot. So when there's an error, um, like we know, like first we check to see if, let's say, if it's not from the API gateway endpoint, like okay, we know that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now is it the H3 event? Is it not able to trigger the step function or something there? We can, like, we have logs for that. We can check those logs, see if that is running. And also like once we have, we normally use this like custom login, like error login. So we use bad snag when there's any error, like it's sends it to bad snag and alerts us. So if it's like based on our like error handling, we know which like handler that is coming from. So
Mm-hmm.
it's it makes that a bit simpler, like debugging stuff. So through the error like logs, we know okay, it's from this handler, when we can trace it down there and see what's happening. Yeah.
Okay. So can you is the service called Bug Nugget? Is that what you said or what?
Bags Nag. I think they've changed
Bug
their name
Snag?
now. Let me see. What's here? Bags Nag. It's report. Let me see. It's, yeah, so Smart Bear Bag Snag. Yeah. If you search it.
Can you talk about that kind of service a little bit? Because I have never heard this name
Okay.
before. Is it like
Bag
open
Snag.
source or yeah, like
Did we pay for it? Okay. I think we are paying, the company is paying for it, but open source. Let's see. Very free. But what it does is it's like reports our errors, like
mm-hmm,
alerts us when there are any errors in your code. You can add it. Then in wherever, like based on how you handle your errors. If you want to like send an error to Bagsnag, they have the like you can send notify. There's this Bagsnag notify. So
mm-hmm.
the error, then you can structure how your error should be sent and
Yeah.
even be able to trace like which file like it's coming from, Yeah.
Okay. Like how did you find this tool and like yeah, what was the experience before you actually adopt and use that for
Mhm.
like your production
Yeah.
project?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was from, it was from work. So my boss came up. I think he like brought it up. I think he has
Mm-hmm.
used bag snag before, like in other
Okay.
projects. Yeah. So he suggested we do it. But there was one of my team members. He's actually the one who set it up, the whole process. So
Mm-hmm.
before we were mostly depending on, we didn't have a good way to like report errors. It wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
best,
Ah,
but
okay.
yeah. So we started using the bag snag. But in other projects, there's the subscription, the long care subscription app I spoke about earlier. With that, we are using CloudWatch dashboards
Mm-hmm.
and like the alarms. So when there are errors, like we can go to the dashboards. I think we've created a dashboard. So based on the functions that we want to be like paying attention to when there are errors, like it's all grouped there. So we see the errors that are happening and getting some information, some user information, or to try and figure out what like happened, like what was wrong, what caused the error. Yeah.
Have you before and also have you like build the POC just before you actually adopt the tool to see
Hmm.
like the entire thing how this tool is going to integrate to your project?
Project? No. Mm-mm. I
Oh
haven't.
no, okay. Yeah, because like sometime
Mm-hmm.
when like from my experience they'll have
Mm-hmm.
to build the POC where okay,
Okay.
let's if they're going to explore something and they feel like this will be a good tool to integrate
To
or good
bit.
idea to
Okay.
yeah, they'll have the POC yeah,
Yes.
just to
Okay.
put it yeah,
Good.
just
Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I love that how technical we are right now and like how we yeah, how we use and how build your application if you run into so many issue. I
Mm-hmm.
love the yeah, the contents there. And I'll zoom out a little bit and kind of
Mm-hmm.
talk to you about the cloud journey and job intake. So, how do you keep keep up with the technology because these days the technology just kind of move fast like
Yeah.
right
Moving
now
fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
so how do you keep up with those?
So I think I learn by building, like trying out new things. Like that helps me. I also read or watch videos, but to help me keep up, I have to build stuff, even if it's something small. So if
Hmm.
it's not even so, apart from work, I try and do like little projects on my own, like try to learn stuff. and reading. And yeah, Twitter helps a lot with like the stuff that are up like if there are any new like information, like just people posting stuff on Twitter and reading about it and all, that helps a lot. And even LinkedIn. So yeah, it's mainly
Mm-hmm.
social media, trying out stuff, reading. Yeah, it's that helps them.
Okay, it's like so you said that you read book and article and LinkedIn, and sometimes do you also build? Because I yesterday I saw your LinkedIn and I saw that you try something
Yeah,
with the AI.
MCP. Yes, yeah,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
you do the demo, which is really cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how how do you come up with, like, if you want to build
Mhm,
something, let's say that you want to learn about AI, right? And how do
mhm.
you, what was the process there? Like, do you
Okay.
Google, or like, yeah, can you talk to me a
How?
little bit? Yeah.
Okay, so now with AI, the what helps me is that I tell it, I say, okay, so I want to learn more about, let's say, MCPs, what I recently like posted
Mm-hmm.
about. It should suggest project ideas for me that like I can like build to help me learn it. So I think I used ChatGPT to help me like suggest project ideas. So it did. But then with the MCP, going through it, I used I think was it Claude? They have like an article showing you how to create MCP servers and even the client. So reading about it, reading the documentation for it. They even have a sample project. So sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
follow those sample projects. I follow those sample projects first before I try to build a project on my own. So with the project ideas, yeah, ChatGPT has been helping me with the project ideas. Like something challenge, I asked it to give me like a challenging project or something, project ideas. Like I want to learn more about this topic. Like you should just give me like a project idea to help me build. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool because I also do that. Sometimes when you have ideas and
Yeah.
you have desire to, like, I'm a curious person, and
Yeah.
my mind's always busy, try to think about
Mhm.
like what do I want to build or what do I want to
Yeah.
learn like each day. So
True.
it's having the AI, it actually really helped to just kind of
Mm-hmm.
brainstorming, because sometimes
Yeah.
brainstorming, yeah, it's really
Prince.
important.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of take that brainstorming and then kind of build that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's awesome. And yeah, I think we enter a little for the time, and I like to ask you for the last
Mm-hmm.
question about, if you, this is a, yeah, step back a little bit, and with
Mm-hmm.
your journey and all the um your knowledge about all the cloud, what is your advice for some people that want to get into the cloud? And yeah, the advice for people to want to get into the cloud, and if they face any obstacle. And yeah, so can you, yeah, what advice do you
Okay.
have for them? Yeah,
Advice. I
especially,
think
yeah, for women. Yeah.
woman. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
think the main thing was being open to challenges. So I noticed like stepping out of your comfort zone. That's what helped me. Like I took on the challenge like when my boss wanted like someone to work like more on the AWS stuff. Even though I had no idea, I was like, okay, let me try it. So like doing challenging stuff helped like me. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
still learning like new stuff, but now when I like there's this new service I want to try, I'm not that scared because I know there's documentation. Like you'll be able to figure out there are communities around and like a lot of resources online. So
Mm-hmm.
that would help. Like you shouldn't be afraid to like try new things. Yeah, that's one. And staying curious about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, what do you mean by stay curious? Like,
Well, if don't be, let's say, imagine big stuff. Don't be
yeah.
limited. Yeah, don't be limited. I just, if you think about something ridiculous, you want to try it, you never like it's I think now almost everything is possible. Try it out and see. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know, there was this I posted something on LinkedIn about like lambda functions, how before like I didn't see the possibilities that it had, like how you
Mm-hmm.
can link it to different services. So like before, like I was thinking small, but like think big, be curious about stuff. Or yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, stay curious and think of the bigger picture,
Yes.
and yeah, tried it out, and there's a document that you can
Yeah.
start reading. I think
Start.
reading the document is really important because
Yeah.
like yeah, like because I know
Mhm.
that AWS has a really good document for AWS.
Documentation, yes, that really helped me like when I was like starting out, because
Hmm.
like when I'm working on any service, straight to the documentation, and like they break it down, like it's like you understand what's happening with it. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and also with AWS, and especially for the for serverless, and they have serverlessland.com. I don't know if you have used it before.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so
I will
that's
check.
yeah, so Silverland has a lot of example and article and really useful if you look for just the sample example of
Okay.
maybe how you know use API gateway with the Lambda function or API
Hmm.
gateway with step function. So definitely, yeah, check that out. Yeah, it's one of my
Oh
favorite.
yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, it's one of my favorite where I kind of stuck and I feel like I need example of this and I can picture in my head, but then I want to see how other people have done it before because
Okay.
yeah, that's really help. And yeah, it
Yeah.
has a lot of yeah I believe they have CDK, they have SAM, they also have
Mm-hmm.
like serverless framework. So that yeah, yeah, definitely check it out.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I've opened it right now. I'm checking it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's yeah, it was a pleasure to have you on the podcast with us today, and I really appreciate your time and your expertise, especially with serverless and how you transition to the serverless and do the project and sharing some of the knowledge about the journey between that because I know that it's just not easy for someone that when sometimes you kind of have to like you have a feeling of like is it gonna work, but then when you try it out and stay curious, and that's where you know the the outcome would be. So yeah, really enjoy having you today. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Thank you for having me too.
yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, follow the podcast and share that with your friend or loved one who love cloud and tech. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and stay curious. Thank you.